Okay, guys. So tonight we've got Victoria Boss with us, and she's going to be giving us a seminar on confidence. Take it away, Victoria.
Yeah, so thanks very much for having me. I'm going to share my screen, get straight into the presentation. So hopefully you can all see that. So a little bit about me. These photos, well, the first one probably doesn't do me justice, but it's just a comparison I did a few years ago. So it kind of shows my weight loss journey. But on the far left, I'd been working in bars and restaurants for pretty much 20 years. That was a photo taken at one of my friend's wedding. And there was another photo in that dress, but side on, that happened in May of that year. And it was just awful. I was size 18, bordering on a 20, wasn't able to shop in the clothes shops that I wanted to shop in. That dress was from Yours Clothing, which, you know, I love the dress, wasn't anything wrong with it. But that was my trigger point. That was like, this photo is awful. I can't shop in New Look anymore. You know, I'm having to go to these different shops. And that was my trigger point for going through my weight loss journey. So that photo in 2016 was the February. I started my dieting journey in the September of that year. The 2017 is the February. So from September to February, I did most of my weight loss, and then kind of spent the next year just getting into the gym, and just like what people would say is like toning up. So obviously getting a little bit more muscle, getting a bit more definition, and just kind of getting to a rhythm with kind of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to kind of live my life going forward, because working in bars and restaurants is very, very hard. Like there's so much temptation around. But I was just at that point where I was super headstrong and nothing was going to deter me. Like I was on that path and that was it. I then decided to get myself a personal trainer in the January of 2018, you know, everyone's New Year's resolution, let's get a PT. And before the end of January, I was like, I want to do this as a career. This seems like something that I want to do. And by the July, I had qualified, I had left my job in bars. And then in the September, I was fully qualified as a PT. And yeah, I just literally flipped my career around. So I've been there, I've done it, I've been overweight for most of my life. Looking at my photos, people don't understand, well, they don't realise how old I am. I'm 42. So I probably spent a good 20 years, if not longer, you know, overweight. I was never like a skinny teenager. I was always fairly like, you know, probably a size 14 most of the time. It then crept up to a 16. Then, like I said, I got to an 18 bordering on a 20, which is when I decided to change. And that all came through, obviously, working in bars and, you know, going on a night out. It was like, oh, I'm not confident in my body. I don't like the way I look. Most of my photos were head only. So like that picture on the far left of me, that's my profile picture on any of my Instagram or Facebook if you're trying to find me. So most of my photos were head only, and that's a massive giveaway to people that you are not body confident. Any photos that were full length were taken by somebody else. And as you can see, that photo on the far left, it was my friend's wedding, and that's how it was taken. The next one that was done in May was on a holiday with work. Again, side on, someone else took it, and that is kind of what kickstarted my journey from those horrific photos. But I was kind of hiding away all the time, secretly, and not really thinking about it. And if you're not feeling body confident, have a look at the photos that you take of yourself. Like if you look at that one at 2018, I'm there smiling, posing, taking full length photos, not bothered. Obviously the 2017 one was, you know, a bit more of a progress photo. I was more confident. And I'm happy to share these photos. And if you go on any of my social media, you'll see a lot of photos of me from the past. And again, you know, they're all photos taken by somebody else, because I wasn't body confident and I wasn't really thinking that, you know, I didn't want these photos. And the start of my journey, I didn't do progress photos, which is why I always say to my clients now, please take photos at the beginning, no matter how horrendous you feel they are and that you don't want to take those photos, you will kind of want to look back over them. So I have kind of come through my own journey, and trying to change your habits and your routines after, 20 years of being that way. I mean, to be honest, I was 36 in 2016, so 36 years of living. There's a lot of habits there, especially working in bars and restaurants, free food all the time, grabbing and going, drinking a lot, going out all the time. You had discounts in other bars and restaurants. So now I've kind of turned that into, I want to help people in the same situation as me, people that are working in hospitality or working shifts or struggling with, grabbing food on the go because they've got a busy lifestyle, the sleep issues that kind of come with that, and, managing stress and how all those things kind of in turn can cause you to either be overweight or, not have body confidence, and kind of flip that around. And, you can see in those photos, I've done that myself. And, I just feel that it's so, like, now if I went on a night out the other night and taking a photo in a bar, like, I don't care anymore, full length in the mirror, loving life in my outfit, my clothes, feeling, I'm feeling confident in them. And that doesn't happen overnight. Yes, I did my journey. Yes, the weight loss massively contributed to it, but it's kind of got to come from within as well. And like I said, when I started my journey, I was so headstrong with, this is what I want to do. And not everyone starts that way, but I had that photo and the awful one. I wish I'd put the awful one on now. But, I had that trigger point, and I think you've got to kind of hit a low and a trigger point for you to then catapult yourself and wanting to change. Because if you don't want to change, you're not necessarily going to do it. You can walk up to anyone on the street and say, hey, do you want to lose weight? And they go, oh yeah, I'd love to lose it, like 5 pounds. Every single person would say that, but they're not doing it. And the reason they're not doing it is because they've not got that low point. So if you are thinking about starting a journey, think about, your reasons why you want to do it deep down. And, obviously tonight we're talking about body confidence, and that could be your reason, but you've got to have that deep down kind of rooted reason. And I think people feel that, body confidence and just confidence in general, I'm going to talk a bit more about confidence just in general to begin with. And they think it's like a superpower, like only certain people have got it. You might not have it. You feel like you're never going to get it, but it's not really true. And I think the best example is in your work, like however long you've worked in your job, like how confident were you starting that job? Were you knowledgeable in that job? Chances are you weren't. Obviously you were qualified enough to get the job in the first place, but you weren't confident in that environment. You didn't know who everybody was. You didn't know where things were. You weren't confident. But if you've been in that job, say 5-10 years, you're probably so confident in that office environment. You know everybody, you know where things are. So that just proves that actually confidence can be built over time. And it is not a superpower. It's just learned through repeated actions. So the more you do something, the more confident that you get at it. Now, the problem comes because you don't want to start those repeated actions because of lack of confidence. It's just a vicious circle. So what can you do? So this is something I've been telling my clients recently, and a lot of people have been asking about, how can you kind of get more confidence and what can you do? And sometimes you just have to say yes to things and then work it out later. So you're never going to be 100% ready to take a new action, whether that's to start a weight loss journey, whether that's to change jobs, whatever it might be. You're never going to be 100% ready. And those people that are trying to wait to be 100% ready to take action are just never, ever going to take action. You've just got to take that imperfect action. And then over time, through those repeated actions, it becomes perfect and it becomes what you want it to be. And it's just a case of just starting. So over the last 12 months, beginning of last year, I don't really set New Year's resolutions as such. Like I wouldn't say I was New Year, new me, set a resolution, but I wanted to kind of work on my confidence. So as I do with most things, I do things in quiet. I don't scream and shout about it on social media, but I will talk about it afterwards. So I kind of set myself a few tasks and put myself in some situations and said yes to things, bought tickets, paid for things, and then had to work it out later. So a few of the things that I did was for fear of missing out that I've put there, FOMO. So I came from a bars and restaurants background. You know, all my friends like drinking, eating. They don't want to go to fitness conventions. They don't want to go and do certain things. So I was missing out on my education. I was missing out on things that I wanted to do. So that's kind of what sparked it. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to go on my own. So in February, I went to an example gig on my own. My best friend loves them as well, but apparently, I think at the time, she either didn't have the money or she was working or something was going on. I can't remember. And I was like, but I really want to go. So I booked the ticket and just went. And did I do what I wanted to do at that concert? No, I kind of stayed towards the back. I ended up seeing an old client in there, which was really random. And she was kind of staying at the back. And I didn't enjoy it to its fullest, but I went. And I ticked that box. And the more you kind of do things that are pushing out that comfort zone, the more you kind of become confident to do it again. If I then went to a gig on my own again, I'd be like, oh, actually, I know I've done it before. And this is how you get more confident in things, because you've done things before. James Smith, who is another online PT, very big in the industry now. He's got like 1 million followers on Instagram. He was doing a book tour in September and nobody could come with me that wanted to come. So again, I went on my own. Randomly, I happened to see someone that worked at the gym close to me, sat directly behind me. Absolute fluke. But I ended up having a good time because I was chatting to him behind me before it started. You know, I didn't plan it that way. And I did obviously ultimately go on my own. And then at the end, I then stayed behind and got my book signed by him. Again, went on my own. IFS, that is the International Fitness Summit. So they're in their 3rd year now. And it was in Portugal in August. And I really wanted to go the year before, and obviously lockdown and issues. And I was like, I really want to go. I'm just going to book the ticket. I'm sure someone will come or whatever. Now, again, randomly, someone else in the fitness industry I knew who lives miles away from me just happened to be getting on the same flight from Manchester. And we sat in different seats. She went with her mum, stayed in a different hotel, but I went to Portugal for a week again on my own. So slowly over the year, kind of pushing out my comfort zone. This is showing exactly who I like. Probably not the best like, but Craig David was doing a book signing at the Trafford Centre. And again, I really wanted to go. And my friend who wanted to go was like, oh, I can't, I'm working. I just can't get out of it. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to bother going then. It's like, no, because I want to go. So I think that was November time. So again, forced myself to go, you know, had a really good chat with him, got my book signed, got some photos, and feel so much better on the other side. And you might wonder like how this is kind of relating to body confidence, but confidence translates throughout your life and throughout the things that you do. And just because you're confident in one area doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be confident in another, but being confident in more areas than not is massively going to help, you know, translate to other areas. Also last year, I did a bit of agency bar work. You know, you're turning up to places you've never been before. You don't know where things are. Just because I can work on a bar doesn't mean I know that bar. I've started doing collabs with other coaches. So jumping on their podcasts and putting myself out of my comfort zone. And obviously this as well, you know, just pushing my comfort zone constantly all the time. And a couple of ways that you can do it yourself is just to go for a coffee on your own. Like a lot of people will feel that that is like really daunting, you know, going for a meal out on your own, to a trip, a concert or a holiday or something. You know, it can be absolutely anything you want, just something that you don't feel like 100% that you would do. If someone said to you, oh, I went for a coffee the other day on my own, and you'd go, oh, could never do that, then you need to do that. Okay, I'm just going to grab a quick drink. So like I said, how does that link into body confidence? Well, sometimes it's not just body confidence that's holding you back, and it is just that confidence. However, you might feel that your lack of body confidence is contributing to it. But like I said, by getting confident in other areas, it will help you to be more body confident. And despite working in bars and restaurants and being a manager and, you know, portraying like a strong female working in a bar, I still wasn't massively confident. But then that's because I'd not done all those little things that I've now spent all of last year doing. I mean, that was just like a few of the things, like the bigger things, but, you know, there was lots more that I did to, you know, push myself a little bit. And I think continually doing it as well. So I've got a few tasks for you. Write a list of what you are lacking confidence to do. So think about what your body confidence is holding you back from doing. You know, what are you not wanting to do? Or, oh, I can't do that. Whatever it is, whether it's going swimming, putting a bikini on, whether it's wearing a certain dress or a certain type of outfit, have a think and write down all those things that you're lacking confidence to do and how it's holding you back as well. And then think about how you can overcome these things. Like, you can always overcome anything. If someone else in the world has done it, then you can do it. You know, we're not looking at putting a rocket into space, which has been done anyway. But, you know, you can do anything that you set your mind to, and you just need a plan of action. So have a think about how you can overcome the list that you've written. Like, what do you need to put in place to achieve the confidence? It could be something at work, you know. And will losing the weight really give you the confidence? Or do you need to start before your weight loss? So yes, through my weight loss journey, I became more confident in taking photos. You know, I'm still not loving all the photos, but I'm still kind of going on my journey of where I kind of want to be. Where am I going to be happy with my body at the minute? You know, I'm in my happy body, I would say. You know, I'm at a weight where, yeah, I can go around in clothes and I can feel great, but to feel more confident, say on a beach or in a bikini, I feel 6 pounds is probably another good goal for me to kind of aim at, which is what I'm doing over the next few months. You know, and have a think about, you know, will that weight loss give you the confidence? Or do you need to start doing these little tasks of taking yourself for a coffee, you know, doing some kind of course, just to give yourself confidence in other areas, to not rely on your weight solely as a thing that is supposed to be giving you like confidence in every area. So is a weight loss the answer to confidence? And, you know, it's not really, because most people do feel that weight loss will give them the answer and they'll be more confident when they reach the goal weight. But then so many people hit their goal weight and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm still not confident to go and speak to someone at work or ask somebody out or do a presentation at work. You know, so just because you hit your goal weight, it doesn't necessarily give you that confidence, which is why I'm saying to tackle confidence in all areas of your life. And then, you know, you can kind of bring that all together. And yes, weight loss might help you put a bikini on, but it might not help you apply for the job you really want or ask someone out. And a confidence comes from within, and it's not necessarily what you look like. Like I said, yes, it helps, but it comes from within. And it comes from those repeated actions and having faith in yourself that you can do something. And that only comes from doing things. So all the little tasks I did last year, going to a gig on my own, you know, going to this book tour, going on holiday, I know I can do that because I've done it before. But you only know that you can do it by doing it. It's honestly, it's a catch-22, which is why you need to start small and why you need to write that list and why you need to think about what small things are going to help you kind of move that needle forward. So challenge yourself with a confidence task. And I've expanded on this list a little bit. So go for coffee, go for a meal, just talk to a stranger, just say hello in the supermarket. Join a new club or a new team, you know, volunteer to do something, whether that's like for a charity, whether that's just working in a shop, whatever it might be. Go on a trip, a concert, a walk, something just on your own, something that you wouldn't necessarily do on your own. When I was doing my confidence stuff last year, I asked my Instagram audience of like ideas that I could do, and one of them said go speed dating. Now I haven't actually done this yet, and I've probably dragged my best friend along, so I wouldn't necessarily do it on my own. But again, speed dating probably isn't something that I would do. So again, it's just pushing that barrier a little bit more, and that's all it is, just pushing. Go on a course, like, you know, have you got any hobbies that you really enjoy? You know, is there something that you can do that's just like a one-day thing? Go and meet new people. Again, putting yourself out your comfort zone, situations that will force you to kind of level up and change a little bit. And we all like that comfort zone. You know, we're all happy in that little comfort zone. But nothing grows in a comfort zone. So you need to step outside of it to become a better person and a different person. And if you write that list and pick a few of these things to do, even if it's just saying hello to people, you know, people are scared to do that. Watch your confidence grow over the next few weeks of just doing these little things, because you'll have more faith in yourself, because you're like, oh, actually, I can go for a coffee on my own, can sit somewhere on my own, I can sign up for a course and do something, I can go to an event. You know, doesn't have to be massive, but just pick the small things. And when you get those small little wins, you'll then kind of move on to the bigger things. And I love this. So this is called the end of history illusion. So people don't believe that they can change. So the end of history illusion is people feel that time has stopped up until the present day, and this is how they will always be. And if you've got a weight loss goal and you're struggling to kind of hit it, then you probably feel that this is you. Like if you are struggling to kind of get started, and that's a reason why you need a why. And obviously why I shared what my why was at the beginning, because people feel that time stopped up until this present day, and this is just how they always be. So this is why you don't always take action, because you've got that lack of belief in yourself and lack of belief that you can change. But you only need to look back at the previous 10 years to see how much you've changed in the last 10 years, and then see what's possible over the next 10 years. So like I said, the end of history illusion is that time has stopped forever. You're never going to change. Nothing's going to change. This is your life in this day, how you're living it, and nothing ever is going to change. So 10 years ago, I was a general manager of a bar in Manchester city centre. In that 10 years, I bought a house because I wanted to get a dog. So I've got a dog. I have flipped my career after doing 18 years in bars and restaurants, which, you know, a lot of people might have said at 38, is that stupid? Don't know. But I'm loving it. You know, I've absolutely just completely flipped my life, retrained as a PT. I'm no longer overweight. People say that I'm eating healthier all the time, even though I have chocolates and biscuits every single day. They just see that main meal and think that that's it. They don't see what's in my snack cupboard. You know, I've got a job in a gym, again, that comfort zone. I've never done anything like that. Never really known what to do on the machines. The PT course absolutely teaches you zero, which is why I've done loads of courses. But, you know, having to teach a class in the gym, having to have a microphone, like in a job I didn't even really know how to do, again, pushing that comfort zone. But I was so headstrong in changing my career. You know, I'm now coaching online. I've lost at least 2 stone in weight, and I've probably lost more kind of putting weight on and losing it and all that stuff, you know, Christmas, birthdays and all that sort of thing. And they're just the big milestones that I've kind of done in the last 10 years. You know, I could list a load of other things, but have a think back over the last 10 years. What has changed in your life? You know, and I bet you surprise yourself with how much you've changed. And then just think, if that's how much you've changed in the last 10 years, how are your actions over the next couple of years going to impact those 10 years? You know, I lived overweight up until I was 38, eating takeaways, grabbing food on the go, chips with everything, drinking to excess, not really looking at my sleep patterns. And again, like, those are massive to change around. And, you know, that was 2018. We're only in 2023. You know, it's only been 5 years, but I'm living my life as an absolutely, completely different person than I was 5 years ago. So like I said, look back 10, you know, so you might feel that you can't change, or you're never going to get confident, or things are only going to be as they are. That is just that lack of belief in yourself. So if you've not already got a coach or someone to support you, 100% get someone to support you and take the action. Do these small little steps. And by doing these little wins, you'll be like, oh, actually, I can do these things. I can achieve these things. And that will massively help into that body confidence. So please don't succumb to this end of history illusion, and don't feel like you're going to stay this way forever. And do this task as well, because the thing people forget that I've written at the bottom in large letters no action, by not taking any action, by not doing anything, is still an action. By not starting your weight loss journey, that is an action. No action is still an action. And I think people forget that, and they're always waiting for that right time. Like I said, it's just never going to come. It is never going to come. So tasks from this little mini webinar, I could go into massive detail, but I've tried to keep it short and sweet and not branch off too much. So write out what you need to get confident in, what you're struggling with, and then plan some small confidence tasks to help you get better at that. Write out what's happened to your life in the last 10 years to see how much you've changed, and then realize obviously how much you can potentially change in the 10 years coming, which is frightening to think about that. And let me know the outcomes, and let me know how you got on. All my information is there. Just send it over to me and just say, this is what I'm going to get confident in, because if you write it down, then you're more likely to do it. If you send it to someone else and you're accountable to somebody else, then it's more likely to get done, that someone else is going to follow up on what you are doing. So hope you enjoyed that. If anyone has got any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Victoria. There is somebody else on. I'm not too sure who it is. So I don't know if they've got any questions or whether they want to put anything in the chat box or anything like that. So yes, so we'll just give them a minute just in case they do. But no, really enjoyed that. Some amazing stuff in there that you've put down, and obviously your journey and everything like that is incredible. I love, like you say, nothing grows in a comfort zone and things like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a massive topic. I really struggle to kind of pick just one or two things.
Yeah. But I think you hit the nail on the head with most things. I think you did really well. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it was useful to a lot of people that are either watching this now and obviously watching it back as well, because I just feel that, sharing my story massively helps people generally, because like I said, just in the last 5 years, I've massively changed, and people think that how I am now is how I've always been, because that's how they meet me. They don't meet me 10 years ago and go, oh, look, you're really overweight. They just meet me as I am now. I think this is how I've always been, and think that it's easy for me, and that, I still don't have these struggles, or I still don't have these body confidence issues. And it's just step by step. And, I will continually learn and continually push myself out my comfort zone and doing more things like this. And
I believe 100% that is what you do have to do. Yeah. I mean, it's even little things that, like, where you put down that, like, headshot photos and things like that, or you don't realize that, why people are doing those things. And then obviously when you then go and see them in the flesh and stuff like that, it's like, whoa, yeah, kind of get it now. And it's just building the confidence. And I say to a lot of my clients, where it's not about, like you say, losing that weight or getting to that goal weight, and that you're going to be the person that you wanted to be, that you've always dreamed to be. I've known people that have got there and gone, right, so what happens next? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in any potential weight loss journey as well, I always find the journey is easy. It's the maintenance that's hard.
Yeah, 100%. And I lost a lot of weight. Like I could have put a load of photos up there, and I went really skinny. I went to like a size 12, no muscle, like really straight, thin legs. But that's not a look I wanted. Like, I look back at that photo and I think, on the scale and the number, it looked good. And I'll probably never hit that again, but I don't want to hit that again, because yes, I might have looked okay and felt confident at the time, but that's not how I want to look, which is why I spent like the last few years like building muscle, toning up.
Yeah.
Obviously that comes with a little bit of weight gain as well. And then, like
of course
you say,
it does,
maintenance phases and going, actually I just used a few more pounds, or I'm going on holiday. And, maintenance is the biggest thing that people can't do. And I teach my clients maintenance all the time. And if they have a week where they're like, I didn't really get my steps in, or I didn't get to the gym, or I didn't quite hit my food goals, and I've just stayed the same, I'm like, great, remember this week, this is how you do maintenance. So you can drop your steps, you can miss a gym session, you can like not be optimal with your food, and that's how to maintain your weight right now. And I say maintenance is a goal. People just like want to build muscle or lose weight, and actually maintenance is also a goal. Like,
of course it is, yeah.
Because people, when they focused on losing the weight or when they focused on building muscle, like they've got that focus and they constantly day in, day out. But then when you take that away and you have to do maintenance, that's where people
they're lost, aren't
because they haven't got those habits, they haven't got the routines, you know, they haven't got things that they know they need to do on a daily basis.
Yeah. And again, it's a learning process again, isn't it, to be that little bit ad hoc.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you never get to the end of your health and fitness journey. Never. It never gets there. There's the goalposts always move. And I do goal setting with my clients like every 3 months. So we're just doing it now, like in January for the next 3 months. And it's like, you might set something now and in 3 months you're a different person. And you're like, actually, I thought I wanted that and now I don't. And that's why it's important to set those goals and to not rely on.
But it's what you learn through that, you know, that 3 month as well, though, isn't it? You know, what you learn about you and what you learn in that total journey at the same time.
And why you shouldn't just rely on a scale weight goal to give you 100%, that confidence, because it's not always going to give you confidence. Yes, it will give you a little bit.
Of course it will, yeah.
It's going to give you that bit of a boost and maybe that motivation to carry on. But it's not going to give you confidence in all areas, you know, so it's about doing the work elsewhere as well. Yeah. I'm going to stop the recording now, but just stay on for a couple of minutes and I'll just catch up with you. All right. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for attending, and thank you to Victoria. And I will be sending the recording out as well.